When thinking of the Gulf Coast, it's easy to picture the popular foods here. For many, that includes oysters. As Mike Gillespie tells us tonight, there's a move being made this weekend aimed at keeping our oyster population healthy. Mike?
Hey, Rudy, as you may know, here in Texas, the public oyster season runs through, well, most of the months with an R. In this case, November through April. This weekend, however, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department is closing a section of our local waters and will no longer allow oyster harvesting. It's the area known as Zone 32, which is just west of Rockport in Copano Bay, and it will be closed to oyster harvesting beginning at 12:01 Saturday morning. The reason? Not enough legal-sized oysters, in this case, those that are 3 inches or greater. Game Warden Laren Johnson says part of the problem is too much freshwater runoff disturbing the salt water that oysters thrive in.
Our biologist had done sampling beforehand and found that due to all of the heavy rains and the freshwater runoff up and down the coast, a lot of our oyster reefs have just died, flat out died.
Since smaller oysters typically attach themselves to the larger ones, it is important to keep the larger ones in good supply. But beyond that, there is a much bigger environmental impact to consider.
Oysters, the way they filter bacteria, mud, all of that out of our bay systems, keep our waters clear, our nursery habitats for our fish to spawn and grow. Oysters are very vital to our bay systems.
Although it could take several years before that section of the bay is reopened to oyster harvesting, Dr. Jennifer Pollock at Texas A&M Corpus Christi's Heart Research Institute says the shutdown is necessary.
Oysters are such an iconic species for Texas, right? And beyond just wanting to eat oysters, there's all these other things that we know now that oysters do for us along the coast, and we want to conserve all of those benefits.
A good move for the environment so many are fighting to preserve along our Texas Gulf Coast. Now, we also wondered here about the economic impact that this might have. And the seafood restaurants that we spoke with in the area tell us that right now, distributors typically get their oysters from a variety of places along the Gulf Coast, and that practice will just have to continue. Leslie?
All right, Mike.